What's good, everybody? It's your boy Big Scrip checking in. Good afternoon, America.
I'm on
Checking in
Empire
live
Street.
with y'all. I'm about to go get my
No,
work
I'm not. I'm actually
clothes
walking down
and
Fountain
go to
Street.
work.
Going
Go to
down the
Wizard.
one way.
That money, workflow, baby. You know how we do. But yeah, I'm blessed, man. I'm so happy. I almost put on Good Morning America this morning, but I didn't do it. We were just tired. My phone died and whatnot. But God dropped a gift out of the sky, which I'm blessed, and I'm actually very happy. Those of you that know, I've mentioned it before. God warned me long ago that if I didn't leave her, that I was gonna hurt. God warned me. It looks like the light makes it look like there's something in my nose. It's not.
I know, it's echoing. I'm on Fountain Street.
But anyway.
All right.
So it's still gonna bug me. Still there, still there. All right. So anyway. Hold on. I don't know. What you been doing? I'm tired. I'm always on something. Anyway. So like I was saying, those of you that know me know that I had been warned by God, literally warned by God to leave her 3 years ago, or I was going to hurt, and it did hurt very much so. And so after that, for the 3 years I had prayed, I had asked, I had said, God, why can't we be together? Why can't we be together? Why can't we be together? He never answered. Well, this last time after she did this to me and hurt me like she did with her disrespectful shit and really ripped my heart out and stomped on it, I prayed to God and I said, you know what, you were right. I should have just left when the time was right, and where it didn't hurt. That said, I wasn't anticipating a gift of a beautiful woman with a good heart and someone that's not I didn't expect God to drop something so awesome in my lap, and he did that, and I'm grateful, and thank you, Father. That said, I'm grateful. I really am. I'm grateful because God could have left me out here with no girl, or even worse, I could have got weak and gone back to Jess. Ironically, from what I hear, Jess got out of the hospital today and is back on the streets today. So, that said, on the same day, I got the call from Rachel saying, hey, what's up? And I had not anticipated this call because the girl next to me right now, Miss Jess Hames over here, we are very close, and it looked like we were, kissy, touchy or whatever the day I met Rachel, and Rachel was like, well, I don't want to step on nobody's toes if you guys are together. And I was like, no, we're not. She's like, no, I don't want to step on nobody's toes, and that was almost a week ago. So that said, when she called, I was like, I reiterated it. I said, there's nothing going on between me and Jess. We're just close friends. And, and she understands. And, we spent the morning together, half the day together. And it was awesome. If you watch this, it's awesome. Having Rachel withdrawals and shit, I got you on my desktop and my phone. But, it's just a good thing, and I'm happy. I went to the courthouse, filed my motion for visitation, like I was saying earlier. For those of you that don't know, I went on there and I said, I need to do this. They made me write it out, but then they said the chief judge isn't going to be there till Tuesday, but he can push the date up before January, so I actually get my visitation with my son back. And as you guys can see from the pictures, imagine what this has done to my 2-year-old. I'm just saying. Imagine I'm an adult. It hurts me. But imagine what it is doing to him. You know what I mean? And that's the sad part. When you have a parent like me who's a victim, caught up in the mother's transgressions. And, my hands are clean. I'm not charged with anything. And, I'm forced to not visit my son and go through this stuff. It's tough. And I mean, I'm grateful for the leniency that was shown towards me when I flipped out and I went on camera and I said some things I shouldn't have said. I'm grateful for that leniency because I could be in a cell right now instead of out here fighting for my son. So, I'm grateful for that. That said, I hope the chief judge is kind, and I hope he can reinstate these visits. They should be at my house. I move into my apartment December 1st. Jess, check this out. December 1st, I move into my apartment, and I can't wait to have Saint there, and I did put in my request for visitation. I put request to have visitation at the house because DCYF let it happen one time. Then the uppers overruled it and said that they didn't want the visit to the house, which it was, as you can see by the video and also by Nicole's testimony in court, that there was no problem with the visit at my house. It went well. So that said, why should the visits just not be at home? Why should I be going to parks and places? Why? It was a nice backpack. It was leather. All right, let me get back to this. Why should I be going through, why should I be going to parks and shit like that when we're having visits like that at home and he's chasing around the cat and having a blast and I'm cooking him French toast, which is more bonding with my son. You know what I mean? And that's the argument. Obviously I'm not mad at anybody at this point. I just want the right thing to happen, and I'm fighting for that. I'm trying to not come on. I just had to right now because of her, but I'm trying not to rub my recreational use in their faces. I'm trying not to do it because you guys have been lenient with that aspect, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't want to. I'm not here to gloat. This is not a war that I'm in to gloat at the end, like, oh yeah, I got my kid, I get to get high and do whatever drugs I want, pop ecstasy. That's not my intent. My intent is to just be able to parent my child and parent him correctly and live my life the way I want. That's all. And if I can do both of those, there should be no issue legally. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the issue is, am I too intoxicated to parent a child? And that's really the only argument that the state could have, and not being charged with anything makes it even more so. Where where Jess was in court, where they said to Jess they're going to file a second TPR, and they were opposed to her having more visitation. Not this Jess, obviously, but my kid's mother, my Saint's mom. We're just going to go with it at this point. Anyway, they said, literally all that stuff to her. Then they said to me, do you have anything to say, Mr. Smith? There was no arraignment. There was no charges of child neglect, nothing. Just, do you have anything you wish to say? And that's when I stood up and I said my piece, and I said, whatever I said. And Nicole stood up, that's the social worker who's in court, and she said, listen, we've had a visit at his house. His house is more than adequate, as you guys can see on the videos. His house is more than adequate. He's in the process of relocating right now. And he's been complying with our service plan, and that's pretty much, them literally, being truthful, and also not breaking my balls for the things I say on this social media, and I appreciate that. So like I said, I'm not trying to rub anything that I do in anybody's face. I'm really not. I just want my child home. Saint is suffering. I'm suffering. I deal with as much as Jess loves Saint, the reality is that Jess doesn't have it together enough to parent Saint. And I'm being honest. She's literally, from what I hear, she's on the streets again today, which means she didn't go to a rehab, which means unless they let her back into a sober house after a detox, that's a possibility. But I doubt it. And it's just, to me, I don't feel she could parent Saint on her own. I really don't. First of all, she has no house. She keeps saying her Section 8 is coming up, but I've been getting letters from Section 8 from other cities, and I applied at the same time as her. So how is it that you're not getting these? I don't understand. At the end of the day, she could probably use some help with that, but she was so busy putting me down and screaming at me and doing the things she was doing to me all the time that there was no time for me to help her with that. She went in, she asked them. She did ask them, but I also worked. I told her she should go through an agency like Riverwood. I told her, I said, you should go through an agency, go through somewhere that's going to do this for you. Like, my agency found my apartment, literally found the apartment for me because I was looking and I couldn't find one, which I'm also grateful for. Literally. I'm literally, literally grateful. Where. I'm moving in December 1st. The paperwork signed. The landlord already signed it. All the T's and I's are crossed and dotted. So, excuse me again. But at the end of the day, I don't feel that Jess is ever going to get to custody or whatever. All right. I don't ever feel that Jess is going to get to the point where they're going to give her given joint custody. That I don't see ever. I see another TPR in the future, and I see him possibly getting TPR because she does even little things like making visits. She doesn't do. I mean, you can check my repertoire. Other than when I was incarcerated the first time last year, and I was depressed and didn't go to visits for like a extended period of time, I was broken. I mean, I literally got arrested for going online and making a joke about my daughter avenging Saint, you know what I mean? And I was arrested for it, you know. And that said, you know, I literally was so broken that I didn't visit them for almost 6 months, you know. And that, other than that though, they will tell you I make pretty much every visit all the time. I mean, I do. I don't miss visits. And you know, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I have perfect attendance. I'm saying for the most part, and far surpasses Jess. I mean, right up until I was incarcerated, I was there every week, like clockwork, as you can see in the videos, like clockwork. Every week, my daughter would get a video from him. My 13-year-old would get a video from Saint every week. Those videos are actually to Allison. They're really to Allison on her iPhone that were sent to her. That they're in my Google Photos backed up, so I have them. You know what I mean? But that said, you know, that's like literally, you know, the situation where, you know, literally that's my daughter missing out. That's my son missing out. You know, I kept showing him pictures of Allie, saying, "Look, this is your sister." You know, and that's the thing, is I just want my family reunited. I can't speak for, you know, anyone or Jess's side. I don't have any, you know, God forgive me, I don't have any compassion left in me for Jess. I don't. What happens with Jess happens with Jess, and she's in control of her destiny the same way I'm in control of mine. And this is the first time I've been able to sit down and actually talk about the whole situation without wanting to be attached to Jess. You understand? It's the first time I'm looking at the situation like, well, it's definitely not team us, it's team me and somebody else. And you know, Jess did this to us herself with her attitude, her spitefulness, and everything she's done to me. And you know, she literally has made her own bed, whereas I have made my own bed. In my own bed, I didn't do anything wrong to deserve this in the first place. If the CPI had just looked into what the situation was and done the right thing, when I told her, she claimed we were living in a flop house. You know, this is a ruling that's already been overturned. If you guys remember the thing I wrote, you know, she claimed we were living in a flop house, and at the time, Crossroads was working in conjunction with a family shelter to get us in there to have Saint, and she didn't want to hear that. That wasn't pleasing to her ears, because all she wanted to do was remove her child. I mean, that's really how Laura was. I'm not. I mean, like I said, I'm not mad at anybody, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like everything was on the up and up when she did her investigation. You know, she was. That's why it got overturned, and that's why it was reversed, and I was charged with nothing. Is because, you know, she violated, you know, her whole code of ethics and everything was untrue. I mean, she literally made up lies, like saying Jessica was on bath salts. And don't get me wrong, Jess is a junk box, but bath salts was never used, and they had no test to confirm that. They had nothing except her word saying on paper that Jess used bath salts, and that's enough to take my child and put him in foster care. You know, so it's a, you know, like I said, it's been overturned, mine. But I mean, in terms of Jess, you know, she never decided to file an appeal. She had no desire to file an appeal and fight back. She just sat there, and I kept telling her, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this, helps you. Nope, you should do it, nope. And all I could do was like try to advocate for her as best as I could while I got mine overturned. And that was, you know, me being gracious, and you try to repay evil with kindness anyway, you know, and I really do try to repay evil with kindness, you know. That said, you know, I'm trying to do anything that's in my power to make sure she doesn't totally lose rights to his life, because at the rate we're going right now, I'm going to end up with sole custody, she's going to end up with a TPR, and I'm going to be in total control of how much she sees him. And that's a scary thought, because to be honest, I'm not going to be much kinder than James is now. And that's because of what she's put me through. I don't want, you know, it's kind of like Christina teaching Allie to lie and telling her it's okay. And she did that. She's guilty of that when Allie was younger. It was okay to lie to her husband about money spent and this and that. And I was furious. I said, you don't teach a child it's okay to lie, ever. And Christina was always a pathological liar. It was one of the reasons we didn't work out, is because she was a pathological
And I'm not saying I was perfect. I was a kid. I treated her like shit many years. I mean, I still feel bad for a lot of the things I did to her still. And I'm being honest. But also, she is a pathological liar. There's no question about that. Me, all I want is loyalty and honesty. I want somebody who's gonna be there and be honest and be loyal and not cheat and not accuse me of cheating when I'm not cheating and not hit me or put their hands on me or the things that should be taken for granted. I have domestic violence charges, but those of you who know me know that they stemmed from schizophrenia pretty much. And I'm not saying that the classes didn't help, because they were helpful, and Jess managed to skeet without the classes. And if she'd got the classes, I think they would have helped her. I think we'd probably be in a different place right now, but I'm not going to speculate on that. Today is today, and here is here, and where we are is where we are. And I'm happy with where I am. I don't know where she is, and I don't care whether she's happy or not. Not my problem. If whatever made her happy to go out. I mean, she had emails. Listen, I was emailing her every single day, trying to make her understand how she made me feel by saying the horrifically mean things she said before she walked away this time for no reason. And that said, on her emails, she got out, and I could see the blue checks in the messenger, but she never said a word, hit me back, never said no, or did nothing. So at that point, and honestly, by the time I checked the messages today, it wouldn't have mattered, because I was already with Rachel, and you know what? It's God telling me. God would. I don't think if I were to defy God, and not that I want him, I don't even want him. I'm happy. I like Rachel. I do. But if I were to defy God, let's say I were to go back to Jess, I don't think God would send me another dime ever. I'm being serious. I don't think God would send me another dime ever. I really don't think so. Or even a 9 or whatever. This one's Rachel's a dime. So that's fact. Jess, very close on a good day. But that said, not my problem. And I just don't care, what she's doing or any of that. I really don't. I'm sad, man. My heart hurts for the fact that she was too dumb to step up to the plate before somebody else stepped up and said, you know what, you're right, she should be loving me right. And so it is what it is. And I'm going to work. I'm going to get that work flow on. I've ranted enough, but I know what time it is. Y'all stay blessed. It's your boy.